Okay, is this thing on? Yep. Things look good. Cool. Hello, I'm Kyle. I am the programmer, or a programmer, and the artist on our game Lumote here. And today we're going to be working on some sort of more narrative type elements. Yeah, basically there's a progression through the game, and certain key moments we have cameras or like a special feature camera and a little cinematic sequence. So yeah, we're gonna work our way through that today. Oh, I'm starting with dying. So right now we have there's a couple mechanisms in the game that are actually quite slow and need to update every time you die or when certain actions happen. Arn is currently working on that. It should be in soon, and all like any stalls you see today are going to go away in the next day or so. So let's just run through the sequence so we can see how it works right now. Mishmash in the chat is actually Michelle, our sole puzzle designer, so everything you see before you is her crafting. Yeah, so if you have design questions, you can ask her directly right now. So like one of the things that stands out for us at this point is the control of this big, large we call them dumb battery, is actually quite close in, but this moment we sort of want to show you a larger sort of view of the world. So one of the first things I need to do is actually pull the camera out. Here's one of our big stalls. So another thing is, as you can see, even though the camera's pulled out now, this whole area, the big red area on the right, it didn't actually turn blue. So in order to do that, I actually need to like unpossess the character, and this is a different issue, which is actually the first thing I will address because it's just annoying. Oh, if you're curious, this isn't Unity or Unreal. This is our own custom engine. We've just called it R engine, like a little R, but it's that's just a short hand for our OUR engine. So it's all written in C++. So I hope you like to nerd out on that type of thing, because that's all we got. Okay, so I'm gonna have to close this. This is all getting a little crazy with the streaming and okay, so how this works right now is when you move a character into the center of these switch pads, it will activate. Now there's like a little detection box, and then that detection box just decides when to sort of start caring, but it doesn't actually activate the switch until you're inside like a little cylinder within that detection box. And so I'm just going to get rid of that cylinder part, and we'll just activate as soon as you're in the little box. just don't know where I'm going. Power. Sensors. It's an overlap. Trigger overlaps. Here we go. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. I don't need the dumb bat. I need the power pad. Okay, overlap. Should be it. So for building, we use for building our code, we use a build system called Fast Build. It's pretty cool. It's quick, and it allows us to just have like sort of cross-platform builds without using CMake. Okay. Oh, these stalls are brutal. I should put this tea over here so I don't knock it over. So that code that I changed actually controls all interactions between these cube-looking guys, or boxes, rectangles, and these switch pads, so that all sizes are controlled by the same system. So as you can see now, the detection happens just like as soon as you touch it. And then any place where it's powered, if you get let go, the dude sort of hops into place. Just makes things feel a little nicer. You can get into a good flow where you can kind of toss a guy onto one and continue on to the next thing before it's like completely centered. It also just allows you to play the game smoothly without having to go and center them right on the thing yourself. Certain puzzles rely on you having things in not super precise alignments, but precise enough that you want things to be centered. Oh! This might need a little more love after this, but... Okay, well, that's better. So another thing you could see here is actually a little bit difficult for you to see because the camera pulled out, but when I grabbed, after I dropped the dumb bat onto this switch and unpossessed, the camera still stayed zoomed out because there's like a timing issue there. So like if you unpossess in like the same frame or something that all these things activated, then the camera state gets stuck. So I'll have to write that down so I can fix that. Okay, so I feel like the first thing that we need to take care of is actually this. Just getting the camera zoomed out. Let's just start there and see what else we need to do afterwards. So hello everybody who is watching. I actually can't, I have no idea how to turn notifications on, so I have no idea who has joined. I've got like quite a group now here. So hi. Thanks for joining us. I'll have to figure that out on the next stream. Okay, so this is like we can basically load the whole, this is the whole game. So when you're playing Lumote, you start over here and then you can run through all this. There's like, you know, whatever, 40 some odd puzzles in here, and yeah. So you always see your progress as you're working through the game. But I can't really do a whole lot of work in this thing. Like obviously working on every single puzzle in here would suck. You know, Michelle wouldn't be able to really accomplish anything. She wouldn't be able to stitch. Like say she has a new puzzle and she just wants to try it out in a flow. Well, that doesn't really cut it. So each of these, each sort of puzzle in the game we can actually load individually, and this is like this high level overview, sort of they all get stitched together. I can kind of show you that using this little node editor thing. So each of these nodes is like a section of the game, and then we can open up these sections. They're separate level files, and there's like deeper graphs. So it's like this nested graph of levels. Okay, so the one that we're looking at right now, though, is called, it's this thing. So that's this World 1, Region 1 to Region 2 tower. So, okay, so the sequence, there's sort of a little sequence happening here, kind of automatically, and it's based right now on this pad, I believe. This part was actually set up by Arn, so I'm not 100% sure how this stuff works yet. So bear with me while I do a little digging. Our engine works in very similar to Unity's new ECS system. So you have entities and components, and then systems that operate on those entities, really on the components on those entities. So you know, this will look very familiar to anybody who's used Unity, even Unity's like existing sort of standard component system. It's just, and you got an inspector and a bunch of things on a thing. So I'm looking for this. What am I looking for? Transient properties, transient objects, maybe. Relay. I have no idea how this thing actually activates. on. So how it should work is there would be an object that has a volume on it with like a series of spheres. And that's basically each sphere defines like a phase of this moment system. But I mean, these are sorted alphabetically. I don't see moment or sequence. Rigid body, skin model. And that's not part of this scene. Ah, right, it's on the level container. I suppose that makes sense. How do you move it around? Oh, it's centered on the switch. I see. Sub-hub moment. And then it just has a target. Right. Okay. So we kind of need to tie it to a couple different things, because really what we want is maybe it could be either when we just possess the big dumb bat here, or when you enter the room, do we start bringing the camera out? Well, maybe we should just tie it to that thing first and see what happens. So, oh, nice. Well, kids, this is what you get for writing your own engine. Oh, I hit a button. I hit a key that caused a spline camera system. Well, sure. We just didn't have a path selected. Okay. Let's just try and do that again. I guess I have to fix this first. So well, can I just do that again? Not that one. What did I press? P. I don't even know what I pressed to do that. All right, well, whatever. Just wait and see if we can do it again. Actually, just unoptimize this so that if we get it again, then maybe we'll get some more info. So we can actually change code and recompile, hot swap all of our C++. It's kind of spooky. Works good. Okay. So the dumb bat, large. Okay, so there's a couple things we could do. One is like the camera focuses on the big dumb bat, which is like, well, maybe that's fine. Let's just try and zoom the camera out and see what we get. Boom length blend. It's been so long. A useless name for this variable. I probably named it. It's kind of funny. Need to maybe make the collision box a little smaller later. Okay, so when we're holding on to this thing, right? Boom length blend does nothing. Sets the camera zoom level. What the fuck does that even mean? Boom length blend goal. I mean, that does things. Oh, not you. Apparently Lumote doesn't like possessing this dude. It's like kind of scared sounds. that's like a little bit much. I'm gonna have to talk to Paul about getting rid of that crying. That's like, I mean, if doesn't propagate, so we can't change the prefab to do that. It's on this fella here. Oh, right. Oh, it does work. Certainly changes. Changes everything though. It's like, so when you're controlling it, do we want like 30 though? Man, keep bringing OBS up. So we've got this boom length goal, which it's not entirely clear that this does anything at all. Oh, well, it just gets clamped between 0 and 1. That really ends up just being like a speed or something. I should maybe get rid of that. And, right. Okay, right. That's why this is all weird, because I've changed these numbers. Set that to 1 again. Or was that might have actually been a 0, which could have been part of the problem. So now if we change this back to 20, we zoom out? We don't. I'm somewhat looking at the chat. Hi, I am Box. Thank you for hanging out on Discord with me and entertaining my silence on Discord. Okay, so really when I grab onto this thing, the camera needs to zoom out. but it doesn't. And I don't know why. Just gonna ask Paul to make Lumote stop crying when you possess a Dumbat. It's like, it makes me sad. Okay. Okay, so this is a lerp. Our current blend should be like, what? It's just garbage. Garbage. Okay. So despite possessing something, can we bring the blend? What are we possessing? Large Dumbat 1. Maybe it just didn't propagate. This is not on RTX. Oh, this RTX on. You know, it would be really nice to use some ray tracing. Certainly all of this glass. This glass material might benefit from it, but honestly, Arn did a pretty good job just with kind of a sneaky little post-process effect, really. Maybe Lumote 2. We'll just ray trace the whole thing. Alright. And I almost need like a little momentum on them. So that they, right now, I think when you just let go, they just stop. Maybe they need to slide like half a meter or something. I just like sometimes just want it to slip off that edge a little easier. Okay. No. Oh, okay. Actually, this might be working. is just change the maximum distance of the boom camera. So player. Gotta modify this prefab. 60. Hey! It's not totally mad. Well, it's a bit quick, eh? Is that far enough? Is that too far? Guess like maybe this sequence. Oh, and obviously this thing just like slides around right now. It needs to like have like a big heavy hop or something. Hey Michelle, can we like remove this one column so that I guess we'll need to figure out where exactly we're going to stick the camera first. So that like when you are like this, it doesn't, you can actually see what's going on. Let's just try this a little bit closer. Actually, just modify this level so that I don't have to keep solving this part. Okay, so put one there, put one there, and one there. Someone remind me not to check that in. Oh, I still have to do it because they're right. So everything starts off, if the whole game is about turning your energy from, turning the energy of the world from blue or red to blue, then everything starts off red. So even, I guess that's still faster than having to drag them around. See, I feel like even this camera, we could just fix the whole thing. So rather than having it freeform, because like this moment you can only really do this, and like we kind of want to feature these little story boxes and. So this little hitch is from the same thing. Basically, all of these little blocks everywhere are all connected. So whenever you stomp or land on it or interact with it, if it's a really big area, it takes a long time to do all the searching and everything. So, excuse me, we'll need to. That's the stuff that Arn's working on right now. Alright. Let's just roll with this for the camera for now. Okay, so... So this level container thing. how this works is there's... Was it running in here, or do I have to run the main world to show this? Okay, so it doesn't actually play the little sequence there, so I'll have to run the main world. Should probably look into that. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so even though I've moved these in the puzzle, they were saved into the save game at this location. Wow, that zoom out is like a little shocking. Okay, so here's like the little sequence. So right now it starts kind of close, maybe. Basically, what's happening here is the Master Moat, your adversary, with all of the red power, is just getting a little pissed off that you're starting to take over this significant section of the world, as you can see over here. So we're gonna have to look at that too. Camera pop when you zoom this out too far. So we're just trying to feature this sort of moment. Obviously, we've got this crazy blinky light thing going on. We'll throw some particle effects, that kind of thing. So really, we probably want the sequence to start over here on the first big block, and then be most intense on the last one, rather than being most intense just before you drop the thing in. So right now that's just those three spheres. Really need to be able to move those, I guess. I guess 100's too big. Right. Max 50. Let's try like 90. Sure. Oops. Should really make these boxes that you can move, so we can sort of just like capture the space a little better. But let's just try this. 60? Sure. I guess the other thing I need to keep in mind is these are actually going to be up here. Yeah, that's still going to work. Yeah. Also, if I'm not seeing your chats, I guess I should just fix this. My laptop keeps going to sleep. Sorry. Turn off when plugged in. Never. Sleep. PC goes to sleep after 30 minutes. No, thank you. Okay. You can see sort of the master mode power kind of catching up, flowing all the way through everything. So that flow of energy started way down. You can't really see it because we're sort of trying to hide that. Part of like a big this revealing this moment here for the first time. I guess in a way where I'm kind of spoiling the very first section of the game for you, but we're just talking about like the first 20 minutes to half an hour, so I'm sorry. Alright, so now you can see like this sequence. You can see all the red. Master mode is unhappy earlier. And then as we get onto the next one, yeah, start getting a little camera shake. Some like cool lightning sounds. Maybe we'll hook up some like crazy red flashes in the skybox and stuff, so it's not just this like serene green. That'll be another day. I'm not gonna be able to get to that today. So then when you're on this sequence, oh, weird. You can see like this one little patch up here has some particles firing out of it. That should be coming out of everywhere. I'm not sure what's going on there. I wonder if the budget for particles on this area is just... Or are we not close enough? The particle budget is just too low. What is that one called? So, the light wire emitter. That's not it. Are we actually just running out of world particles? Let's just make it 2 million. Nope. Alright, well. Have to dig a little deeper for that one. Oh, those particles only shot up on Z. But am I just not close enough then, Arn? Yeah, whatever. Whoa. So we get all this red fog comes up. It's can start to see like this whole world. Everything turns on. Lots of things. And then if we wait a really long time, like a really, really long time, eventually this column in front of me will light up too. All right, there it is. Isn't that pretty? And into the sky. So, how many we got so far? We've got the one right here on the left that we've solved. Then there's this lower one, 2, so that's 3. And then you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those are the 10 major sections of the game, each indicated by one of these columns. And we're gonna decorate them up a little bit more so that they're not just big rectangles, but they'll start to look more like this stuff off in the distance, like underhanging and things like that. But yeah, so that's basically you're looking in essence at the entire game. It's just all there in front of you to sort of watch your progress. Yeah, it's in the radius and all the voxels shoot up. We can fix that later. We'll fix it later. Okay, so I think instead of having this, ugh. When's this getting checked in, Arn? need speed. There's actually a bug in this. The wrong music's playing. Oh, there's actually 2 different tracks playing. And then we just jumped over here. Yeah. Well. Coder Arn. I should finish that path caching tonight. Cool. Yeah, well, that's okay. That's why it's in your little bio. Well, this thing is just hosed now. Why does it all just keep activating? Oh, this is how we saw that other camera thing. This is like a good example of like a bug that might turn into a feature where we should sort of show you the exit and then pan back to the beginning. I don't know. I don't know if we'll do it. I don't know if it's valuable, but it's sort of an interesting sequence. So it's just going to keep doing this now. I might have to copy a save game to get back here. Oh. Seems fine. Let's see what happens now. That was like... Alright, what was I saying? Okay, so basically I think that I'm gonna change this deal. Oh yeah, there's like the music has just gone bad. I'm just gonna change this manual camera control here. We'll just experiment with taking camera control away and just sort of giving you basically this shot so that we can see, so that we can sort of feature the whole space. Oh, now I'm stuck. Paul has made it so that Lumote doesn't cry anymore when he possesses a big dumb bat. Thank you. Okay. I'm just gonna restart the game because there's too much music playing now. I think we had 3 tracks going there. I don't even know how that's possible, to be honest. She's not home right now, but we can get Michelle's mom to come on stream and say hi. That'll be kind of funny. All right, so does this spline camera, I assume it just activates when that switch gets activated. She won't understand where to look. Moms are funny. Yesterday I got a text message from my mom. She said, "Okay, no probs." Player camera move to spline. Okay, well, we need to just make this happen when you possess that big dumb bat. I assume that already gets detected in here. Player controller is possessing. Oh, it's like if you're possessing anything. Okay, sure. Let's just roll with that. On sub-hub powered. I'll leave this here. Maybe we'll do a different camera there later. going on with the compile there. Okay, so now as soon as I possess this, when I'm in this sphere, well, it's gonna get a little bananas, but we'll just make it so that we know it's the right type of thing here. This component name makes no sense. Master component, it has nothing to do with the master mode. It's a component that controls things that are possessable. So the master of something that's possessable. At the time, it seemed reasonable, but sure. Actually, is not. Thought maybe the master, the player component derived from master, but it does not. We're not possessing, or let's do something here, I guess. I thought the possess type was in there. We don't know what we possessed. Aaron, you put spaces everywhere. Like, why don't you just use spaces instead of tabs? Like, I would say you're like 50% tabs and 50% spaces. I never know how to align stuff. I guess that doesn't really matter. Yeah, but like, wouldn't it just be easy if like the beginning of each line just started with 4 spaces? So then like I can just hit tab everywhere and it just inserts spaces. I don't know. I mean, I like tabs. I just wish we just used tabs everywhere instead. So it's just like, instead of like this, it's just like, because look, you got a few tabs there. I mean, that might have been me. You know, like, why can't I just do this? And it's like, bam. It's not one space, but it's just an extra tab. Then we're just good. I wonder if Clang format would format your code now. It couldn't before, but I wonder if it can now. Because then I don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, so if we're not possessing or we're not a large dump ad, then we do this. Oh, I need to actually do the other thing too, right? So game system. There. Move to boom. Can I like call this repeatedly and everything's okay? Yes, I can. Skip if not. Sweet. Does it work the other way too? Maybe not. Oh. No, I mean, I get that. I generally try and stick with the columns too. I just, usually I end up just inserting an extra tab because I don't know, the space bar is annoying. Okay. So that's cool. Oh, great. Okay, so the camera. I'm not in the main world. Why doesn't that work? Sub-hub component. Why wouldn't that work? Whatever. Finding a balance. Yeah, this is like, it's like a only Sith deal in absolutes kind of thing. I've actually considered making a little extension for Sublime. So when I'm working in Sublime, if it's like, if there's no preceding characters, it will just insert a tab. But otherwise, it'll insert spaces. Just so that I can stick to your coding style. Okay, the camera still doesn't work. Oh, this is because I'm calling that stupid function every frame, isn't it? So, I need to only do this once it starts for the first time. Whoa. So basically I just need to call this. I have to call this one once. I wasn't entirely paying attention there. Oh yeah. Hey Arn, is the flood fill on the light wires now just going to be limited to, I don't know, whatever, like 4 chunks or something? Like, because we get the little pop there too when you just like jump and land on things. That didn't work. Oh, right. These are just backwards. Did I just do it again? I did. Nice. Cameras are reversed. Okay. Right. So now we just have this fixed camera here. And that. Cool. Then when we let go, we come back. Okay. Movie camera. World doesn't have a movie camera system. Oh, I have to do this from the game. Okay. Spline camera. Oh, we have lots of different cameras. Right, this is like the little sequencer thing. Movie camera system is the wrong one. Spline camera, right. Was the movie camera my old one? Go to, oh, pulse locks will change 6. Come on. 10. All right. Well, let's just see if this pulse thing speeds up. Still get like a little hitch there. You can see it in the graph. Oh, that's a good one. 60 milliseconds. Man, we suck. Doesn't matter the size. Did my compile fail? Nope. Alright, well. make things faster. So we use Omar's Dear I Am GUI for all of our UI. And I think this was actually a widget that Arn found from another member of the I Am GUI community. Set camera key. Insert camera key. Insert camera key. Oh, and I need to insert a target key too. How do I do that? Where did it put it? Oh, I see. Target. That's not. I don't want a target camera key. All right, we're going in reverse. Oh, target keys are inserted, right? Okay, thanks. Need to be able to like copy and paste keys. Don't do that now. I could just write some numbers down, but all right, so let's change key 0 here to be our new shot. Somewhere like this is what I'm thinking. Second key. And then let's just delete this key 2. And then I actually want the target to be like here. Oops. I pressed T and teleported the whole world. I wonder if we actually maybe just want to pan like way the heck out. kind of like that. I've got the target switch. Awesome. Right, and then V. There we go. In fact, maybe we like even get close. Let's see. That's weird. It's like a weird little hitch in there. Oh, I wonder if that's camera shake doing funny things. I have no idea what this is. Oh, I hit this. Man, Windows just... Like, why does Windows care if I press the Xbox button on a controller? Pop. I don't what's happening there. The camera goes all haywire on that restart because we probably don't reset the state of this little sequence on a level reload. Because it's global state. Is it resetting between each? Just trying to figure out what the little hitches are. Oh yeah. So if the state is changed, then we move to this blank camera again. State is none, the new state is not none. Do this. Need words. There we go. So I'm thinking, like, when the sequence activates, maybe we want to actually have the camera look down to follow this stuff. And then have all these things turn on slower. That one actually turned on really fast. Let's restart this again. Here it comes. Eventually. There it is. Obviously, we need to pre-warm the game. Can't have it. If this is like going all the way back to the very beginning of this region, you've got to sit there and wait for like 20 or 30 seconds while the game like spins up after. Okay. So I'm actually gonna, we have this lock to 60 thing that basically, it's gonna make the game run a little slow. It'll be smooth, but kind of run in slow motion. But it'll allow me to actually experience this activation thing at the end, if I don't die. Ugh, I'm not paying attention. Suck at my own game. So part of the stuff I'm working on right now, we're trying to get put together a new video for PAX West submission to Indie Mega Booth again. We're gonna try and get it in again, see how that goes. But we want to sort of feature this moment in our submission video. So we're also just trying, obviously we're trying to flesh the whole game out. That's the reason why this is being done now. Okay. So gonna have a really long frame, but the game isn't gonna rush ahead really quickly. Yeah, and so we get this like slow motion thing. This fade up, but it's so fast. Let's slow it down. Slow down. Game system. No, it's none of these fade things. Fade timers, blah blah blah. Skybox. Fade in. Intro animation duration. Oh, look at that. I can even just change the number. It's 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure. always just want to make that jump, but I can't. Eh, not bad. Really, what I'd like to do with this eventually is sort of make the fog feel a little bit more volumetric. So rather than having it, the whole thing come up as just this big red glow, we'd get sort of pockets of it as the different like columns of light wire and stuff turn on. Peace. Let's try 5 seconds. Okay, like if I just can't make it. Just trying to decide if there's like maybe a better framing for this. Like after we activate it, can we do something weird that's not like super invasive? Or like pull like way out. Would that be cool? Maybe the fog's too thick and we need to be able to see all the light wires. I don't know. Feels a bit much to like zoom the whole world, doesn't it? Maybe not. Do we do like a big rotation? You you can just like skip if you want. Slight zoom out and look down is good. Like more of a down angle, yeah. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Stick a little note out. Hello. Okay. So, I think what we're gonna do is, yeah, kind of what Michelle's talking about. So, we'll start the sequence with the camera being closer. Oh, looked like I was stalled out there. So basically, like, if you've got the Dumbat and Lumote, the camera, let's say the camera's like this, instead of having it right now, when we possess the Dumbat, the camera sort of zooms out to here, and then we just get this kind of arc like this. Instead, what we'll do is we'll just like make it get closer to what the default game camera is, and then zoom out to where we want it. See how that goes. Should be, and then we'll put like a separate camera sequence in to just kind of tilt the camera down so we can see what we're doing. Show everybody the sort of power up. Power on. Just blank camera. I wish we had two. We gotta get another viewport in here. Be really nice to have the ability to see more what we're doing. Michelle's mom's home. Maybe we'll try and get her on stream now. Kind of weird, eh? Does like a weird look and then rotate. Oh, I guess there's maybe a little more length in this one than there is in this one. Well, let's see. Let's try to animate world. Oh, this is cool. You can actually see the camera sequence, or like where we are in that timeline. Forgot that it actually updates live down here in the spine camera editor. I guess the thing with this camera is it actually makes it a little difficult to get in that hole. We're gonna have to sort of unclutter the foreground a little bit, maybe. So everything just gets kind of lost in there. Whoa. Sorry. Okay, so big log stall. This is getting written into the save game, that's why everything is lit already. Right, so we just have to stop and restart. Actually, I almost want to like tilt the camera up a little bit. Like a little bit more of this action. So that's also going to be the first thing that gets activated, right? Is all this stuff on the left or on the right? I don't really know what's best to capture. Part of the trick is like we don't have the spaces are somewhat controlled in the sense that we can, you know, set up and compose shots, but it's not entirely under our control. Reasonably, just because we you know, swapped new puzzles in and out all the time, and the entrances and exits of the puzzles dictates sort of the architecture of the entire space, like the whole world, I mean. So we kind of have, to a certain degree, we just kind of have to find the best framing with what we've been provided by the connectivity of all the puzzles. Well, let's move the camera up. I don't know how this camera thing works. Am I able to change it in here? I would say since it modified the main world, probably not. I feel like this needs the speed kind of dropped a bit. Target keys. So the target key can have a target look direction. Right, so I can actually aim it. Insert camera key. Delete this key. So like right kind of dead center. Let's insert a camera key. But let's point it. There's going to be like a bunch of cool stuff here, right? So let's set it to be like that. 100% look direction. Does that work? Kind of like look over here and then bop. I feel like we need to maybe move this lower. So that it doesn't obscure the placement. Let's find out. Too out of frame there. this stuff's actually a little bit annoying to do. Lumote's little mind is being blown. I'm just gonna move some of this stuff around over here just to see if we can. I don't know if it's just getting in the way or. We can actually remove the left leg. Right? No, didn't actually need that leg anyway. This is our like little voxel editor. Everything in the, even though, I mean, when the stuff's all running, it kind of looks like voxels. It's not like little Minecraft blocks. It's just mostly intended to be a design tool more than a fundamental aesthetic system. But we do take advantage of the, I don't know, I guess like the round voxeliness of it in our case to produce some interesting shapes. without having to like hand model everything. Just don't have the time or really the interest. I mean, Michelle, Arn, and I are all programmers, so it tends to be a lot more. We have a lot more focus and, you know, maybe value we put in systems. So if we can write a piece of software that we can sort of input some data into it and then yield a pleasing result, we will always seek those paths out as much as possible. Okay. It's like this, I think, helps quite a bit, actually. It's like not so much stuff in your way. It's kind of nice. I mean, if you're so inclined, you can go jump on this and just be silly. Doesn't really do anything by doing that, but it's... If you want to show off your ninja platforming skills, you can, I guess. These like ring structures in general, I think I'm going to, I'll keep them because I like the depth that they offer, but I'm going to kind of treat them more the way I did to this one down here, where they're going to be like an extra layer of just like sort of weird droopiness. So I'll drop it to kind of like maybe ground level or something, just so it's like one less thing obscuring the camera. I'll reset the position on this thing. All that time trying to figure out how that parameter connected only to turn it off. It's funny, those frame spikes caused by the light wires are actually made worse because we have to simulate multiple physics steps in those situations as well, which takes even more time, which makes the frame take even longer. Maybe on this key, we won't go full. We can just do it like somewhere in the middle there. player a little bit more in frame. Sure, we'll tweak this kind of stuff right up until we ship. Everyone's always got opinions about it. Actually, one thing I haven't tested is what happens if we, say for example, you're the type of player. Oh no! Okay. So let's say you get on this thing and you try and activate it from this side. Oh, I see the sequence is already played out. Is it just broken now? Might be. So like say you're over here. You do it. That's maybe not so bad. Might have to like have it swing around instead of right over top. Obviously, we're not going to get much further with this. I gotta go back to the main world. This is becoming like impossible to test because of this, whatever this state thing is, so I guess I just need to debug that. I think I'm actually going to wrap this up for now. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you found this interesting. If you did, please join our Discord and give us a wish list on Steam if you're so inclined. Yeah, thanks for coming by.